Screenshot.
Yeah, boy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Outward's map has always been pretty plain, to say the least. This lets you have pure mystery and run into enemies at random while also getting lost in the wild. But what if that map had more details? This mod here that I'm covering today, called More Map Details, was created by Sinai and lets you see yourself and other enemies marked on the region maps. So if you were looking for a particular enemy, you could pull up that map and pinpoint the area in which he or she has spawned. This is a really cool mod that fits almost seamlessly into the game, and I'm going to try to show it off in each region so you get a feel for exactly what it can do. Here is the More Map Details mod in all of its glory. Here we have the Enmerkar Forest map. Now, something interesting about this map is we have a couple unique enemy spawns. We have the Royal Manticore down here, which you can obviously see by this check mark here. So that's pretty cool. We actually get to see where the Royal Manticore is at on the map. Looks like he is fighting a alpha coral horn right now, actually. We also get to see the Sauraborian Caravanners over by the ruined settlement. That's pretty nice to know, especially if you want to try and get that frozen chakram or something like that. A mantis shrimp on the island as per usual. We've got the obsidian elemental down at the bottom with some burning men. Look at this, the Tyrant of the Hive. Tyrant of the Hive. That's the Hive Lord guy that's unique. And he actually shows up on the map as well. Then we've got another alpha over here on the right. And we have the Ash Giant. One Ash Giant always spawns in Enmerkar. And there he is over there by the Face of Vengeance. So this is really cool. You get to see exactly where everything's at. Coral Horn, Alpha Coral Horn, another Alpha. And one more unique enemy is the Bandit Manhunter. He actually is spawned behind Berg in the old windmill and fort entrance back here. Here we have the Chersonese map. Now this one is pretty cool because we actually have a lot more things that pop up for us to go and fight, some more enemies. If you check the Vigil Pylon, we actually get to see the Forge Golem and those guys over there. You've got the camp, or the bandit camp down at the bottom. It's got all kinds of bandits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bandits over there. Very cool to see that. We've got the Bandit Defender, which is the guy with the shield, I believe, by Vendable Fortress. He's showing up on the map there. No... Oh, wait, no, the Sauraborian Caravan is right here, actually. Yeah, right here by the Vendable. So you can see that as well. We've got a Wendigo. Check that out. He's all the way down behind Vendable Fortress. I don't usually see him there very often. But the Wendigo's there. We know where he's at. Means you should be safe. Don't go there. We've got a Cutthroat Pearl Bird. They're probably going to fight each other, actually. They usually do. We've got a Rock Mantis on top of the Conflux Mountain. Very neat. And a Armored Hyena with his human companion over here. Mantis Shrimp on the beach. Gym right here where I'm at shows the location of the player. We've got a Pearl Bird, bandits, hyenas, lots of hyenas by the den. And over here, you've got some Illuminator horrors. Should be a shell horror right here. So it looks like the more difficult enemies are actually a larger X. It looks like it to me. So if you want to find something that's more unique in that region, it's probably going to go with the larger X. So shell horror is what this one. And you can find him past Ghost Pass. So here we have the deserty region of the Abrassar Desert, where you can find Levant. I'm once again next to Levant, near the town here. And we have a lot of check marks to look at. Let's check these out. So in the middle, we've got a jewel bird, those pesky little birds that always like to run away from us. We've got a rock mantis outside the entrance. He's typically there. That's very cool. Sauraborian Caravaner near the shell horrors. Check that out, shell horror Illuminator. He's usually there, actually. You can find him quite often. We've got the Desert Bandits over by the Sandrose Cave. A Jewel Bird, once again, near Levant. Ash Giant Priest is actually near that obscure cave no one goes to. Right there to the right of Levant. Interesting. We've got a lot of enemies over here by the Walled Garden. Check this out. Beast Golem, another Beast Golem, another Sword Golem. Should be 2 Sword Golems, I think. 3 Beast Golems, and the Guardian of the Compass. That horrifying enemy that likes to kill us all quite often. We've also got a Manticore over by the Parched Shipwrecks with a couple Walking Hive walking around. Always found those guys interesting. Their hive's down here, and they're all the way over here. What are they doing? Some more hive over here by this. We've got a Desert Bandit and an Ice Witch. They're always here, almost. At the entrance to Enmerkar Forest, we have a Burning Man and another Jewel Bird. So 3 Jewel Birds actually on the map at the same time. Up here, we've got the ruins of Old Levant. We have a Desert Bandit. And should be Luke the Pearlscent up here. Yes, he is the big enemy that is protecting the Old Levant area. Luke the Pearlscent and a couple of bandits. Lastly, we've got the fort. We're going to see some crescent sharks over here. These guys are pretty pesky. I usually stay away from those. But on the top, we've got the sword golems. These guys actually don't have a different name, which is kind of interesting. I guess they're just called regular sword golems, but they're given a different texture. And then we've got some more crescent sharks over by the Cabal of Wind temples. I really like this mod. I mean, it gives you all kinds of notes on where stuff is. It's very interesting. Some of these locations where you might not go, be like, oh, that's kind of cool. There's some stuff over there. Maybe I should go check it out. Now we find ourselves in the Antique Plateau, which is over in Harmattan. And this one's interesting as Harmattan is actually here, but you can't stand next to Harmattan. The entrance is all the way over here. So you can see my gym character right here. We've could take a look at the downtown clock tower, and we can see all kinds of enemies. Sword Golem, Galvanic, Sword Golem, another Sword Golem. We've got 2 Beast Golems here and here. And yeah, a lot of sword golems. But there's usually 2 right here or here, and so we don't have those spawned in yet. That's interesting. We've got the rusted sword golems littering the area. Those guys are always all over the place. Rusted beast golems as well. 2 Kazite, Lieutenant and Archer over in this corner here with the Sublime Shell and the Pure Illuminator showing up right next to the ruined Hippodrome as per usual. That's pretty neat. Once again, a larger X for the Sublime Shell. Interesting. We've got another Sublime Shell. This is very cool. So there's actually 2 Sublime Shells and 2 Pure Illuminators that will show up in the outside map. One of each always spawns here by the ruined Hippodrome. And then you can find 1 Sublime Shell randomly, and you can find 1 Pure Illuminator randomly all over the map. It appears that the Sublime Shell is all the way up in this corner right now. I don't usually see him there quite often, but that's interesting. And actually, the Illuminator I usually see down in the Mana Lake. We'll see. Sublime Shell right here. Interesting. Blood Sorcerers up here. We've got a Rock Mantis. Some Vebers, of course. The elusive Veber that I hate so much. A Rock Mantis up here, what it appears to be. Mantis Shrimp. We've got down here by the lake. We've got more Mana Mantises, actually. Some Buzu. Plenty of Buzu littering the area. More Vebers and Blood Mages, bloody beasts. And down to the left, we have the Blood Cave, Blood Sorcerers. More bloody beasts. Mantis Shrimp, Vebers over here by the tower. And here's the Kazite and Wolfgang encampments. These are littered with bodies. So these actually aren't necessarily enemies. It depends on what you do in your faction quest. So these are actually friendly NPCs for us right now. And look at that. We can see all of them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them near the Wolfgang Mercenary encampment. I'm not seeing many walking around, which is kind of odd. But yeah, there's quite a few over there. As far as Kazites go, we've got quite a few. An archer, a few archers, a few lieutenants littering the bandit camp. Some Vebers. Not seeing the elemental. I feel like this would be really nice for finding the elementals for the downtown clock area, but I did not see him. So I'm not sure exactly if he just hasn't spawned until I check the clock tower or what's going on there. But yeah, this is a pretty easy way to find those guys if it was worked with that. I'm not sure it does because he's not showing up. But yeah, so a lot of different things in this area. Again, one of my favorite areas in the game. Very cool to be able to see the elite Sublime Shell walking around. Next, we head on over to the Hallowed Marsh, which is the swamp region. A pretty difficult region for most newbies as it's more difficult to traverse with all the poisonous water. But here we are up in Monsoon. Here's the gym character standing right there. We've got a few Stegosaurs over by the old windmill. We have a Marsh Bandit near the Vigil Pylon. These are usually the typical spawns here. Ooh, look at that. Ice Witch just spawning in there. That's interesting. Either that or just popping up for the first time. We've got a Phytosaur. Very cool, very cool. Over here, we've got lots of bandits. Ice Witches, Mars Archer. We've got another Phytosaur. Just kind of littering here. No Alpha Taunosaurs yet? Oh, no, we do have one. We have one right here. 2 of them, actually. Oh, interesting. So it seems that there's always almost 2 Alpha Taunosaurs. You got to find them. We got 2 alphas. What's funny is I had this happen to me on stream. This one right here, if you go to fight him, this one can actually fall off the cliff, and you have to fight 2 at a time, which, let me tell you, is horrible. Don't want that to happen to you. Soroborian Caravaner is over here in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if I've ever been over there to see him. Interesting. We've got Phytosaur, Taunosaur over here. Only 1 Taunosaur on the map right now. We've got the Blade Dancers that usually guard the Dark Ziggurat. Those are over here. We can see those. A Phytosaur. A lot of Phytosaurs near the Chersonese entrance. Phytophlora, Phytosaur. Phytophlora is going to be your unique ones. Those are a little bit harder to defeat. We've got Stegosaurs. Lots of Stegosaurs over here. Spire of Light has the 2 golden minions that are always over here. And the 2 golden minions that are always back here as well. Blade Dancers, again, guarding the Ziggurat of entrance. And another Blade Dancer here. We do also have 1 unique enemy spawn. Not a unique enemy, but a unique spawn. And that's going to be the Ash Giant. 1 spawns per 7 days in the swamp region. And you're going to get the Ash Giant over here by Giant's Ruins. He's almost always over there. If he's not here, he's going to be here, somewhere along this road here. Yeah, we can see him there. Very nice to be able to see the Alpha Taunosaurs, as those guys are very scary to run across just randomly. And even Taunosaurs, I would like to avoid those as much as possible. They suck. Lastly, we are over in Caldera, the dreaded volcanic area. We can see some interesting things here. But before we get into this, I would also like to note that this might be very good for trying to do the Ancient Dweller quest, where they have random spawns. You can actually see where they're at, probably. That'd be pretty helpful for this. We start at the top of the map where we enter Gym right here. Yeah, middle of this canyon right here. We've got a Drifting Medes. We've got an Elder Medes right next to each other. It looks like the Elder Medes are marked as larger X's, so that's interesting to note. We've got some Boro, and I believe the Giant should be here. That's the unique enemy spawn for this area. The Giant Hunter is what he's called. Yes, Giant Hunter and Boro. We've also got the Gastroscenes. Oh my word, look at these. These are marked as high priority targets as well. Gastroscene, Gastroscene, Gastroscene. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Gastroscenes in this area over here. So if you don't like fighting snails, yeah, that's gonna be rough. We've also got a few Mimatours over here near the Mimatours Hive. Very interesting. Caligray Island's going to have a Caligray, some more Caligrays. Lots of Caligray spawn over here. And you're going to have a Caligray here as well. I don't know if this is a... Here's the Scarlet Emissary. There you go. 1 Scarlet Emissary spawned over by the Red River. Now, I don't have the Ancient Dwellers actually open at this time, so that's why we're not seeing those. But I'm telling you, this could be very, very interesting for seeing where they're at for the rotation. Also, check this out. You know how the gargoyles are all like scattered across the entire map? It appears it actually tells me which gargoyle is active. So this one right here is active, and none of the other ones are. Which kind of almost proves my theory that only 1 gargoyle is ever active at a time in the outside world. Seems like this is the only one that's active. Unless... Nope, there's 2. Okay, I was wrong about that. I should have waited to say that 2 gargoyles active at any time, looks like. So 1 here, and then 1 in the back corner that I actually fought yesterday. So, Mimatour, this one's not popping up. It looks like it's probably mess up or something, maybe? I'm not sure. Soroborian Caravaner actually does not spawn into this region immediately. So that's something interesting to take note of. He is not here on this map. You probably have to wait till you get New Sirocco started up for him to actually spawn in. And yeah, so that's pretty much the Caldera region. We got some Boro. This would be a very, very handy mod for finding things over in Caldera. I wish it showed the samples, actually. That'd be very cool. But it doesn't look like it does. Enemies are good enough, though. I like that. Being able to know where the gargoyles are at and the Scarlet Emissaries. I hate running into those things. So, and that's all the maps. That should be everything. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I enjoy this mod. I was skeptical at first. I'm like, I don't know how much I'm going to really like this. Is it going to ruin my immersion? No, I think it's awesome. Being able to see what is all over the map. And you still have enemy spawns, which like random enemy spawns. So we saw that earlier in the swamp where something just popped up. It's not like it's going to tell you everything, but all of the high priority targets, you're gonna pretty much know where they're at and what they're going to be doing. So yeah, that is the mod, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you next time.